Welcome to another episode of the Utility Players Podcast, episode 11. I am Raymond, Elvis Escobar on Instagram. We got Nicholas Gravy Montana as always, Ben B Wonder, D Fort, Danny Fort in your hearts. What's going on, guys?
Guys plugging his Instagram account. I respect
Had
it.
to. Yeah. Got an alias I got to protect. What's going on? So we're recording this on Monday night. Next week, we'll the boys Ben and Gravy have their softball coming up on Mondays now. So we'll be recording at least on Tuesdays. But let's get into some topics here. Breaking kind of today, earlier in the afternoon, we had games being postponed, canceled, moved to other days in hockey, baseball, and basketball due to protesting and kind of unsafe, conditions out in the streets, people protesting violently sometimes and non-violently. But we want to jump into that. That's relevant. It's happening live right now, and it affects, sports for the week. So any thoughts on either the video? I just seen the video actually from the cop cam about an hour or two ago. What's your thoughts on it, guys?
Well, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I probably will never go to Minneapolis again in my life.
How'd you say that? Minneapolis?
Yeah, something like that. I'm never going to Minnesota again in my life. I haven't seen the video yet. I do want to see it. But it's getting ridiculous, man. It's like, I don't even have the words for it anymore. And it really is a shame because, obviously we think of the people affected first. But I also always like to get back to, there are like good cops. There's actually a lot of them, but it's just like, you have these assholes who kind of just, dude, there's other ways to go about it. Like, we have these instances where people aren't doing anything wrong. You can have a conversation with someone and, I don't know, gain that level of common respect for each other without having to kill somebody.
And for the record, it came out earlier today that it was an accidental discharge of a firearm that thought it was supposed to be a taser. So That came out earlier.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if that's what we were talking about. Yeah. I mean, there's a big difference between a taser and a gun. I mean, right? I own a gun. I've held the taser, like usually the gun is on your dominant hand where the hand you use everything with, and the taser's on the other one. So like all this quote unquote accidentally shit, I'm not buying it. It's just, I mean, I got pulled over the other day, and I mean, like Gravy was saying, there's nice cops. She was nice. I told her straight up that, hey, I have a weapon in the vehicle, and she was cool with it. She told me to get out, and she just wanted to see what was going on. I was like, look, I get it. You're doing your job. You're looking out for your safety. That's cool. No problem. Like, do what you got to do your job. But I mean, there's some people that are just trigger happy, or maybe they had something in their life where they just are getting bullied or whatnot. And,
well, before you
gives them some sense of power.
100%. Before you go, Ben, another thing that came out on that video, if you guys didn't see, was that he was getting detained or arrested for an outstanding warrant. He was getting handcuffed outside the car, got back inside the car, and tried to take off. The video that I watched ended at the point of him getting back in the vehicle and the struggle, but them saying taser, taser. And then that video ended. I'm sure there's more, or if there's more body cam, but basically the car, then he got shot and the car rolled about a blocker or two forward. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But, what's the solution, I guess? What do you think the solution is here? It's definitely not what's going on right now up there. That's not going to help anything.
Yeah. And it does affect the sports world, and obviously Kyrie taking a day off and all their athletes feeling like they didn't want to play today.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, I think the problem is a deep conversation for me.
Yeah.
It can.
I believe so too.
I think the problem is deeper. I've already expressed before to all you guys that I can't stand when something happens and then there's like an immediate alternative reaction that's very aggressive to something without like fully thinking it through. I think the solution is deeper. It's a systematic one. I think I have a brother-in-law who's a cop, and then friends who I have another one that is not a cop, but he works for the government in a government agency. But like training for police, I think it's like 8 weeks. I mean, you get more
That's
training.
crazy.
You get more training at Wells Fargo in some cases.
100%.
And I don't think people take it into account. Like, their job is difficult. Like, you're dealing with the worst stuff from the moment you log in to the moment you shut off. You're dealing with the worst stuff all the time. So then I think that beats them in their head too, and it starts to get it carries a negative effect on them.
Mental health should be checked on with that.
They don't have programs really that constantly are pushing them through them. Like, hey, how you doing? You just saw this terrible situation. Are you doing all right? They just throw them back out into the fire. And then I also think that being a police officer has turned into, it's an outlet for people like that, unfortunately, who maybe were bullied as a kid. And this is their way to get back at whoever it may be, because they have that in them. There should be way more rigor going into, if you're going to be a police officer, and like background checks, try to understand who these people are before you're going to send them out here and try to save others. It's unfortunate. I don't personally think it gets any better anytime soon. I just don't see it.
Yep, I agree. And I think you're right. The discussion needs to go a little deeper. There are obviously things that need to be implemented that unfortunately won't happen overnight, although we'd like to see it. But man, I just, I feel bad for everybody. So I think we'll leave it at that. I know the Red Sox Twins game got postponed. The Timberwolves, I don't know who they were playing, but that game got postponed. Okay, Nets. And I know the Wilds game got postponed as well. So I think they have a curfew in effect, and for the potential thing of rioting or whatever.
Is that why? I didn't know if they postponed next to players or just like, hey, we're not going to play tonight.
Well, that yes, but I'm saying also as well as the curfew. But I'm sure the players had a big say in that as well, because we know the stand that the NBA took, when things started to happen a few months ago. So I'm interested to see what will happen next, because you see these players did that, and change did happen, not at the level that we'd like to see it yet, but unfortunately, it's still continuing to happen. So we'll see.
Where was the other one at? Wasn't there another one for?
The
military guy.
When they maced him, bro.
They fired that guy today.
Yeah, he got fired.
That video
that pissed me off so much.
Crazy.
Yeah, that happened in December of the end of last year.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, even if he's not wearing a military uniform, it doesn't matter what the 100%. Person's wearing. It goes beyond that. But like, how do you talk to someone who is fighting for our country? How do you talk to them like that? How do you treat them that kind of way? Like, he maced him in the face, and then he's like, "Get out the car, take your seatbelt off." All right, bro, I got all this fucking shit that you just sprayed in my face, bro. Like, I can't do anything right now. I can't even function. How you expect me to do all this shit, bro? And then like the other guy, he's kind of like, the other cop was like figuring out what he should do, if it was the right thing, if he should tell the other cop to calm down. Like, he's just in the middle of it. So like, I mean, like we were talking in the group chat, like Gravy said, he's just as at fault for not standing up or not saying anything in that specific time.
Yeah, if you're in that position, you can't see that happening in front of your face and not step in. I don't care if he's your like, if he's your one up or whatever, bro. Like, you could see in his face, he's like, this isn't right.
Right,
bro. You're right there, and you're probably the best chance this guy has from facing a situation that others have unfortunately faced already.
Yeah. And I mean, and the dude was like, yo, I'm afraid to like get out. And the cop's like, yeah, you should be, dog. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
When he said that, I was like, oh, this is going not well already.
And it seems like the other officer was the Spanish guy, because his last name was like Gutierrez or something like that. So like, I mean, you're a minority in this country as well, bro. Like, I don't know what you got going on up there. Like, you don't talk to anybody that kind of way, bro. That's just fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1000%. I mean, we wanted to bring it up, like I said, because it's happening now. It's in our everyday lives. Friends and family always talk about it, and obviously it has to tie into the sports world. But not to get too down or not to have that mood, but something that also happened within right after.
Hey Ray, I do have our guest.
Oh, okay.
In the
Perfect.
lobby, yeah.
Get it. Let's get
Plug him in.
So.
Thank you for cutting me off at that exact moment, so I can continue after.
The winner of the first annual Utility Players Podcast NCAA Tournament Bracket Challenge. Also, another another bald guy, future brother-in-law. So I'm glad he's bald. We can, yeah. Let's see.
We should have a little intro music.
I know, right?
Yo, what's up, fellas?
Hey, what's up, man?
Nate. Dang, how do I get a background like Fort?
Where you at?
You got to go to Vegas. That's the Venetian.
I'll be there next week.
Oh man, I love that place.
I stayed at the Venetian when I went to Vegas.
Bro, like I want to go back. Every day I'm like, that's what I go to work for. I'm like, all right, I got to sell this much to save up to go to Vegas again.
Wait, Nate, what are you going to Vegas for?
Work.
Oh.
Just a work seminar for 2 days. So yeah, boring stuff. They're sticking us at some resort that's like 5 miles south of the Strip. I'm not even going to get close. So.
Well, the Venetian too.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. But no, I love that background. I was a little nervous. I had Ben and Gravy's wife back here.
Oh boy.
Hey.
Look at that.
Oh, nice.
Hey, wait a minute.
I'm coming to you live from my high school bedroom. Still,
that's great.
Still at the mom's
wait a
house.
minute. Hold on. Please tell me you don't call this guy Gravy.
Sometimes.
You do?
Sometimes.
Oh wow! I didn't know anybody outside of Florida or New York called him.
I did. We had some alcohol in us the other weekend, and it
nice.
popped out a couple times. But
nice.
Yeah.
During that UCLA game, we got a little fired up, and a couple of fuck you gravies came out.
I love it.
I know. I felt so bad. Jalen Suggs at that shot, and I was just like running around the house like 3 times in a row outside him, and he's like, "The kid's fucking sleeping," and I'm like, "Oh shit, sorry, I forgot there's kids downstairs." But hey, it was my natural reaction to that shot. So,
yeah.
Nate, I did let the people know you kicked all of our asses in the first annual bracket challenge.
That's just research, man.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So, go ahead, Ben.
What led you into picking Baylor? Take us through your thought process. So next year we all can maybe pick a winner.
Sure. Well, to warn you guys, I had a lot of free time to research this after my kids go to sleep. So that's helpful. And I was a little, because I had a feeling you were going to ask me that question. I was nervous because I was like, what do I say? So I got a bunch of young guys who know all about sports. And I'm just the old married guy that came in. But then I remembered, I was like, oh, wait, Ben's like 48 years old. So I'm not going to that's fine.
Hey, 35 looking like 25.
There it is.
Sure. No, I knew Gonzaga was overhyped. Undefeated. They play in the WCC. They're not going to get anything done. My Tar Heels were not going to make any sort of run.
Ooh, Tar Heel, another one. Nice.
This guy has a Duke shirt on. Just want you to know that.
I know he does.
The disrespect on this show.
He did it on purpose.
He did it because I was coming on. We've had years of conversation. I knew they weren't going to make a run, so then it was just some research and just went down to, hey, Baylor lost 2 games, which were right in the middle of COVID, so that's debatable. So they could have been undefeated. And I don't know. They rebound better than anybody else in the country, and I think it was like 75 or 78% of their points come off assists. So it's just those intangibles that I was like, you know what, I'm going to go with them because I hate Kansas and I hate all those other teams that everybody seems to love. So
it's funny when you say all that about how you picked your tournament team, and it really does show the difference between how you did it and how I did it, and my result and your result. I was dead last and you were first, and I took 30 seconds to probably fill out my bracket. So noted for next year for sure.
Well, get on the ESPN app. They always kind of give you the rundown, like 4 days, like right after brackets come out on Sunday, like Tuesday. I can't think of the writer on ESPN that comes out and he like breaks down every single game. And there'll be like 3 other writers that comment as well. And pretty much everyone said the same thing. Like Baylor's going to be the sleeper. Don't count them out. But then they said that about like 4 other teams. And I was like, you know what? They've lost 2 games. I don't remember how many games they missed because of COVID. Yeah. I mean, their record was drastically different than a lot of other teams in the conference. But when I think their starting 5 are all NBA prospects. So why not?
Smart man.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Sometimes.
Would you like to plug your business in here? Would you like to let people know?
I do have. I have another question for Nate.
Yeah.
No. Oh boy.
Go for it.
Actually, it's 2 questions.
Family members will watch this. So before we started this.
Nate, you said as you're looking at your future brother-in-law over there.
Oh boy.
My question isn't about him though. Let's talk about his future wife, your sister. You should tell us an exclusive on here, a funny story about Mindy.
I like this.
God.
I like this.
Oh, I don't know. Because then I have to also be careful about my wife, who Mandy and my wife were friends before I was ever with my wife. They grew up together. So you caught me off guard there. Because the first picture that pops in my head is them getting in a drastic cat fight after the bar one night.
Oh,
and like
dude,
literally
I would love to hear that.
holding each other's hair. But I'm not going to say anything else because that'll get me in trouble. I'm already probably in trouble just for saying that.
Yeah, right.
I'm going up there and asking as soon as this is done.
Pivot.
Yeah.
Fine line with that is.
Let me think of that. I'll come back. I'll think of something in like 10 minutes and I'll come back and answer that one. What was your other one?
My other one was going to be, tell us your first impressions of Nick, honestly.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, boy.
I'm a proper gentleman.
You are. Hey.
Yeah. He's lucky I worked with a lot of Italians at Wells Fargo back in the day. So
he's Italian? No, he was Mexican.
Why did this turn into me? What did I do to deserve this?
That's funny. Quieter than other people Mandy has dated before. Mandy, I don't know if you guys know, obviously Ben does, but I don't know if you guys have met Mandy, but she's very outspoken. She's like our mother. And so usually guys that she's with are in kind of in that same, ballpark. But Nick was quiet and reserved and the perfect balance, the yin and the yang. And I don't know which is the yin or the yang, but
opposites attract.
I'm the better one, whichever the better one is. That's
whatever. Yeah. Whoever's the quiet, calm, keeps everything even keel. That's certainly Nick. So she needs that.
That sounds like a future wedding speech there, I almost
save the material.
Yeah. For real. Just play this episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
now my speech just cut in. The yin and yang.
Start with the cat fight part.
It's probably more genuine too. So there you go. You didn't have to think about it.
That's true.
I do want to snitch on myself. Mandy and I did just drive by your house and possibly throw some large boxes into your garbage can that is the size of the block.
The camper.
Yeah.
Doing a bit of a remodel to our house, hence why I'm back in my mom's house in my old bedroom.
Ready for it. He doesn't live in his whole high school.
Right.
Yeah. I'm a financial advisor in my old bedroom at my mom's house. Please buy stuff. Please give me all your money.
That's how you save some money.
Save all your money, don't spend it.
What an example.
He's a real family guy. He's a real family man. So that should go into his credibility.
Yeah. I had a meeting with a client the other day that right as I turned it on, I had this background and she's like, "Oh, you have a couch in your office?" And I'm like, "I'm not in my office."
It does give off.
It's a black couch too.
It does give off an office vibe. I didn't think you were in a bedroom.
Well, I'd rather give off an office vibe than like a casting couch vibe.
Only half the people will get that.
Yeah,
as long as you 4 do, that's all I'm worried about.
Yeah, that's true. Anything else, guys?
I want to know. I mean, I know some things, but I'll ask anyway, just so people listening will know. Favorite sports teams?
Oh boy, annoyingly Midwest. Other than the Tar Heels, I've been a Kansas City Chiefs fan my whole life. So when I hear people call me a bandwagon fan, I can show them a picture from 3rd grade in my Rich Gannon jersey. Again, playing against Brett Favre.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was at the game when Brett Favre historically went like 7 for 35 passing.
Yeah.
I was all excited to go see him play, and then he just played like garbage. Grew up a Lakers fan as well. Big Kobe fan, so shout out to him.
You definitely seem like if you didn't tell us before, I would think, wow, you just started watching sports yesterday.
Yeah, no. Big Kobe fan. Again, I think I'm bad luck. The one time I saw Kobe play in person, I went out to Chicago and they played the Bulls. This would have been like 2007. And he went like 3 for 19 from the floor and had like 7 points. It's like one of the 3 times in his career he had single-digit points. I was like, I'm done watching sports live.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm bad luck. But yeah, Chiefs, Lakers. I don't really follow baseball. I know it's going to bother you guys.
You're a Mets fan. It's okay.
I'm not.
Yeah. If you pick a team today, there's 29 others you could pick from.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's the first thing Manny and I do every morning is we do a rundown of her favorite sports teams. I'm like, favorite football team. She's like, Giants. I'm like, now you're learning.
There you go.
Good job.
Now you're learning.
Pat on the head.
Love it. I have become a Phoenix Suns fan. I was going to ask you guys what you think about the Phoenix Suns. You guys. I know. Ben and Nick knew I lived in Arizona for a hot minute back in like 2016, 2017. Went to a couple games, enjoyed it. And so I've just been following them ever since Booker came on, watching them. But second in the West. So I was going to ask you guys, you guys don't talk about the NBA as much as, I would like. Maybe that will change after this airing. But
there we go.
I was definitely going to
live feedback. I like it.
Just some constructive feedback.
When I think of the Phoenix Suns, I think about this podcast maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago when I said that Chris Paul was like in the MVP discussion, and the rest of these guys looked at me like I was crazy. You know what? Second in the no, I'm not crazy. They're second in the West, and he is the reason.
I feel like every time Chris Paul goes to another team, they just get better.
Bro.
Yeah,
I saw that tweet. Yeah, I saw that tweet. Like he just needs to bounce around from team to team and just help them out.
They get better, but they don't get better in terms of they're gonna win anything. Chris Paul's not winning you a championship. He's not.
Ooh. However,
argue against Chris Paul Chris Paul's not winning you a championship.
I mean, it was.
Do I think the Phoenix Suns are going to win a championship?
Do I think they will? No.
No. Do you think I think that they're going to win a championship?
No.
But he's in the MVP discussion.
Well, Nate's doing a great job of picking teams that have won in the last couple of years. So obviously he's got to know something with the Suns that he's not letting us know.
Well, I don't know about them winning. I don't think they'll win the championship, but the definition of MVP is most valuable player. And I don't think it's, like you said, every team he goes on, the Suns wouldn't be anything if he didn't cut. So most valuable player for the Suns. Yes. In the league. He's certainly top 3.
Yeah, I don't think he's in the league. I think he's top 5 right now.
I'd say top 5. I agree with that.
Then let's do it again. Who's your MVP right now? I want to hear it right now. If
it changes every week.
Jokic is still.
Yeah, it's got to be. They're definitely 1-2 for me. It kind of goes back and forth. If Harden doesn't come back soon, I would say Jokic.
Well, there you go.
If Harden comes back and he provides that stableness to the Nets, and maybe Kyrie will run out of PTO days, so he'll have to play.
Yeah, that dude gets more PTO than I do.
Ooh, man. So I would probably have to go back to Harden, but definitely Harden and Jokic. Trying to think who would I have ahead of
Embiid
CP.
just came back, so maybe
Lillard
overtake first place and stuff.
Lillard got to be up there too.
Lillard's in my top 3. He's scary.
Just what he's done without McCollum was out for a while. Nurkic just got back. He was out for a while too. And he's kept them afloat, So, and also, I got him top 3.
Also, I know we kind of chatted about this last night a bit, but and he's not in the MVP discussion. He shouldn't be. But the numbers and what Zion is doing,
unbelievable,
is unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
I think he is, and he's not him, but I think is going to be a Shaq-like player.
Yeah, he's unguardable.
Yeah, he's a modern day version of Shaq. 100%.
Can't guard him.
Like you said, he's unguardable. You can't guard him. I don't understand. He always has that hop. He always has, but he always looks like he's injured. You know?
Yeah,
he always looks like he just tweaked an ankle or something, and then he does what he had like last night. Was it 38?
Yeah, like 25 in the first half or something.
Zion. Can't wait for him to get out of New Orleans because he will.
I'll say that's not injury. That's just the Louisiana strut. He's got to kind of have that. Walk.
The only thing I need Zion to do is land on 2 feet.
Yeah,
and not land on 1 foot.
His legs, man. Hopefully his legs aren't made out of sand or glass later in life, but it doesn't. He doesn't jump or land.
He blew out a shoe.
He did it again with the Nets, but it didn't explode, I think, or something like that.
Who did he blow his shoe up against?
It was a
UNC.
I think it was a
was it UNC? Yeah, it was UNC.
Yeah, I think
that was the game Obama was at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ben's getting it for wearing the Duke shirt. That's what you get for not
they
making
suck.
it.
But hey, to round out my top 5, is Scalabrine still in it?
Always. White Mamba?
We're keeping him in the discussion, right?
I'm a Nets fan, and I'm a New Jersey Nets fan first and foremost. And that guy, he went to Boston right after us. We went to the 2 finals. Then he goes to Boston, goes to every team he was on. Chicago Bulls, he was on for a little.
He was on the Bulls for 7 minutes.
He is an instant fan favorite because this guy just comes into the game and he's giving you 10 minutes. I don't want to sound sexual. The best 10 minutes of your life. And fans love it.
I mean, there was a video of him recently playing some dude. Pickup, one-on-one. Yeah.
He was
busting his ass.
Killing him, bro.
He beats him 11-0, right? He beats that kid 11-0, and they bet their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Because Scalabrine, the kid was like, "I got you." He's like, "All right." I like what he says to him. He's like, "What do you want to play to?" He was like, "Until my fat ass wears out."
It just goes to show you anybody in the NBA will just they're the best players in college and high school. Yeah. Like it don't matter if they're the 12th man in the rotation, they're busting anybody's ass.
The moment in my life, I will never forget this, that I realized that NBA players are a step above anything you've ever seen is I went to a Bulls game when Ben Wallace was on the Bulls. And I went like pregame shoot around, and he made like 18 threes in a row.
What?
And Ben Wallace.
Yeah.
Ben Wallace?
Yeah. I got a similar story like that too.
Wallace. Me too.
And then when I saw that, I was like, and then I started paying attention to everybody, and I was like, wait a minute.
They're all making shit.
Are really good.
Yeah.
You know, that's when it hit for me.
Yeah, when I was working for the Nets, I was watching pregame, and the Heat were in town. It was that game they did where they all wore their nicknames on their jerseys. Yep. And Birdman was just draining threes pregame. And I'm like, yo, what is this?
Probably definitely has like 5 attempts all time, probably.
Yeah, and he probably hit like 10, 11 in a row.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. But it's a lot different when you're like when I was training in high school. My trainer would make me run, like get tired, and then shoot.
Yeah.
Just to kind of have that muscle memory of like being tired and kind of running back and playing and then having to shoot that shot. So I guess it's different in that sense. But yeah, I think anybody that's in the NBA is going to bust your ass one-on-one.
I went to a Heat game a few years back, the game where Whiteside and Alex Len both got tossed out because they started fighting. And pregame, PJ Tucker was taking jump shots. And he had missed like 3 or 4 in a row. And I'm just screaming. I'm like, yo, PJ, you washed. And like, he looked back, and I don't know if he looked back at me, but he looked back and he proceeded to make like 23 in a row. I was like, all right, bro. Like, you made your point. You good. Like, I got you. Shit was nuts.
When you're good enough that you can shoot to purposely miss just to see how your ball comes off the rim for rebounding purposes.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're good.
Yeah. Damn, that's a good excuse. I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, you know what, guys? This seems like a good segue.
Oh boy.
Segue.
Yeah, into our very first inaugural
Ooh.
What Be Wonders.
I like this. I texted Ben on a Thursday night at trivia drunk, and I was just like, I need to text Ben solo. So we were just talking for like a good 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I'm ready. There is something I'm wondering really deeply.
Oh boy.
Something
I'm kind of nervous for this.
Yeah. Strap in.
This was not planned.
Not planned.
Explanations. But so to get into it, this is what I'm wondering. My wife and I, Emily and I, we like to go on walks, take our dog for a walk. And I've noticed something, not just since we've been taking our dog for a walk or taking these walks, but I've noticed it my entire fucking life. When you're walking, and I know everybody sees this, you're walking around in a neighborhood, you're looking at the houses, you're walking your dog, you're saying hey to everybody. And I still, to this day, cannot understand or even fathom the reason for doing this. But I can't stand when people put a basketball hoop on their driveway, which is fucking slanted. It's slanted. When have you ever played basketball on a slanted court? Ever? Why do people do this? Seriously, walk down any neighborhood, the street, and I swear 6 out of the 10 houses have basketball hoops and they're on slanted driveways. It's ridiculous.
Let's get some clarification.
It's no wonder that Chad and Jim never make it on the basketball team because they're shooting planet threes all day. It's ridiculous. Have you ever seen an ESPN 30 for 30 when they're talking about a legendary NBA basketball player and they're going to the neighborhood where he grew up and he used to play? And he's like, hey, there's the hoop I used to play in. It's not on a slanted court. It might not have a chain a net. It might have a hoop, but it's on flat ground.
That's true. That's step number one at any ghetto court is at least it's flat ground.
Yeah, or just put it like on the garage or something.
I was gonna say, that was my question. Clarify, is it a hoop on the side of the driveway? So if I'm looking down the driveway at the garage door, are you talking
to get Ben going right now?
Are you talking like hoop above the garage? Or are we talking like hoop over here on the side of the house? Because either way, it's slanted.
Yeah, we're live.
Valid question. So I'll illustrate for you. And
I'll illustrate for you.
Ben, real quick before you start. I'm sorry. I just want you to see this. Look.
Gravy is now showing.
Chico, show your driveway. Show your driveway.
A FaceTime of a basketball hoop.
Ramon.
He's about to walk out.
Yo. Ben's ranting about people who have basketball hoops on slanted driveways.
Ramon.
Live on the podcast.
He can't hear you because of my AirPods.
He has.
We'll talk about this at softball.
So it's that. If you can see it.
Yeah.
Ben is now showing an illustration of a basketball hoop on a slanted surface.
Driveway goes down.
Nice drawing, by the way.
You would not be
I'll
able
tell
to
you more. I'll call you after.
Because it would roll down the driveway.
Yeah.
Bro, every time the first time I went to his house.
Because I played him, they put the ball on the grass.
That person that's gonna play on that person that's gonna play on that court is gonna have a lot of like strong legs because they're always going uphill just to play. So could be a benefit.
No, it's good. You gotta look.
The competitive advantage being on the high side shooting down or on the low side shooting up. Where's the advantage?
The competitive advantage is being excellent at baseline jump shots.
That's true.
The competitive advantage is being excellent at baseline jump shots.
I guarantee you right now, if you took a poll of all the NBA players on did they grow up playing on a slanted driveway, it'd be less than 3%.
No way.
Nick.
I bet you that they played in worse conditions.
They could,
worse circumstances.
Yeah. They could have played in a tornado, but it was on a flat surface.
Bam Adebayo played on dirt, barefoot.
Yeah, flat dirt.
Flat dirt.
Wasn't playing on hills.
Oh my god, that is great.
My goodness.
Yeah, I asked Ramon, and I was like, "Do you just have to go get your basketball every single time it goes that way?"
Yeah. You know, my dad tried to do this to us when we grew up. He was, we went to Walmart, bought one of those basketball hoops that you at the bottom had to put sand in or
water, yeah.
And then bring it up there, and it was like, "Hey, I got a basketball hoop." And I'm like, "For what? Where are we going to put it? In the grass? Are we going to put it in the neighbor's house across the street? Our driveway slanted, and unless your little troll self is going to get up there and shoot, I'm not chasing the ball in the street every single time. You've now put me at a disadvantage where I might get hit by a car because I have to chase the damn ball, because none of us are also hitting any baskets either because it's slanted."
Jesus. You need one of those things that hang on the rim that brings the ball back every time you shoot.
But if you do that, it's on a slanted driveway, so it's just going to slingshot it off into the street every time you do it. It makes no sense. And by the way, when have you ever been walking down the street and seen somebody actually playing basketball on that slanted one? You might see a little kid doing it for a second, but then you'll see him, if you stop and pay attention to him for 5 minutes, he'll eventually be like, "Wait a minute, what am I doing? I'm just going to go sit in my car.
Go inside and play video games.
I'm going to throw a football because at least we have flat ground to throw a football." I don't know.
Hold up your picture again.
Huh?
Hold up your picture again.
That drawing. Put that in the liver.
And that was the first inaugural debut of
the debut.
What Be Wonders.
That is literally Ramon's driveway.
Ben's just mad because he had such like a false confidence when he would go on the high side and dunk it, but then he couldn't do it on the low side. And he just thought he could dunk, and then he got all pissed. He's like, "Slanted driveway. I'm gonna bitch about this on a podcast in 10 years."
100%.
Hey, they got me there. That's
Worry about dunking. I haven't touched a backboard in 12 years.
Dunking. That's how you get hurt. Look what happened to Oladipo.
You guys know who Tom Segura is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The video of him trying to dunk. Have you seen
but isn't it on like an 8-foot hoop?
Him and that Burt guy had like a dunk contest. They started at 8 feet and they went up to 9 feet, and he got 9. And then I guess the producers, I just watched an interview of the show, were like, "Let's keep going," and they raised it to 3 more inches, and he went to go dunk, and as he leaps up, he tears apart the tendons in his knee, and he falls back down, then shatters his femur, and then falls and hits his elbow and rips his shoulder and
what?
And then we see the video of his arm, and his arm is the other way.
Ugh.
It's crazy.
Did
fuck all that.
Yeah.
To be fair, isn't he 43 and 260 pounds unathletic?
Yeah. Not an athletic guy trying to do that. Came down.
I feel like I'm 43 right now.
Boy.
Dude, a long way to go
from golf.
How'd that go on Sunday?
Terrible.
Well, Ben lasted 9 holes. It was rough. It was rough in the morning.
Cold. I couldn't feel my fingers anymore, and I'm sorry. I like golf and I like playing, and I want to play, but I don't want to be miserable. I'm already not the best, and I want to get better, but I don't want to have to try to get better when I can't feel my fingers.
I can imagine Iowa in the morning would be very cold, obviously, like most places. But why wouldn't you guys golf in the middle of the day, or that's the only time you could? Because it would warm up throughout the day, I would imagine.
Man, with the hoop.
That's the last time you touched a hoop, a rim.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Zoe. Took off on him when he wasn't looking.
No. Look, it's not on a slanted driveway.
That's actually Dwayne Bowe's house.
Bowe's, yeah, I was gonna say.
But no, golf. It was originally supposed to be really nice on Sunday, and so we made a tee time in the morning. So you play 18, and then it's Sunday, so everybody has their stuff to do.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it changed, and it was 38, 40 degrees, and it was so windy. It was brutal. And so
I think eighth, 9 hole.
I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, golf's not fun if it's cold because it's open air, so just wind is going, and that sounds horrible.
I had a hell of a front 9.
Unless you bring a 40 and a flask with you, if you didn't have that, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
I had a Pop-Tart and some water.
Yeah, see, no, you gotta crack a beer. You gotta crack a beer at 8:59. If that's the weather, I'm drunk by 9:01.
Yep.
Well, hey, my goal was to shoot under 100 since it was my first time playing in 6 months.
And
Shot a 101.
Yeah.
all right,
Nick hit some nice shots. He did.
Yeah.
Some real nice shots.
It all fell apart like hole 15, 16. I was starting to get tired. It took us like 5 hours to play 18. Partly because Ramon sucks at golf and he needs to take 72 practice swings.
This dude
and
is
I love the guy. I love him like a brother. I'd punch somebody in the throat for him.
Yeah.
He got the waggle.
Like,
he waggles.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like doing like this.
Yeah. It's funny. It's a good time, but I was getting pretty tired by the end. So last 4 or 5 holes, very shitty.
I have a funny story. I golfed against a guy in college. I can't remember what college he was at. That he told me before we started, he took a couple practice swings, and maybe by the second hole, I gave him a hard time for taking so long to start. And he told me that he idolizes Michael Jordan, so he is sure to take 23 seconds before every single shot.
Oh boy!
Wow,
that was at least he told me early on. So then I didn't get pissed the entire round, but he did. I mean, he beat me, so I can't really get upset. But
do you think that was that was part of his mental game? Because that would drive me nuts. I'd be like, hit the ball now.
90% mental. That's what golf is. I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I think he figured out after a couple holes, like I'm the guy. I'll kind of stand behind the ball for 3-4 seconds, kind of visualize the shot, walk up, kind of get my hips right, and then I swing. Like I just don't really take any practice swings. And I think he figured out, like, okay, this guy plays quick. I'm gonna slow him down. I'll make up some bullshit about Michael Jordan, and I'll beat him by 6 strokes.
He starts losing. He changes it to like 45. Like, nope, back to back, MJ now.
Yeah.
Nick knows me when I golf. I mostly don't take any practice swings. I walk up there and I just hit it.
Yeah.
It probably shows, but
yeah. It does.
I mean, if you know it's going to be a bad shot, why waste your time, right?
I need to clip the grass like twice with my iron on a practice swing, and then I'm like, all right, like if I can do it 2 times in a row, I'm good. I mean, but I don't know, Ben. Do I take a long time? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. I feel like
no, not any longer than like some people take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do we lead that into another topic just so we could talk about some other things? Masters recap. Matsuzama winning for Japan. Obviously, in today's climate with Asian hate, I thought that was a monumental, not only in the golf world but in life in general. Like having that guy on that stage and when you win the Masters, you're on that stage for a year until the next Masters. You are talked about. Your game and your notoriety is elevated. So I thought that was pretty cool.
What did
I do? Oh, go ahead, Ben.
No, I'm just gonna say, both the guys that I picked to win, not even a chance. So that's why I watched a lot of it, not much of it. It was good to see people back there, to see some competition. I think, what is golf gonna do when Tiger doesn't play anymore? They're gonna need somebody else.
Yeah,
you're seeing it.
Yep.
Yeah. Even if he's like not playing well and he's there, that golf needs another Tiger-like character.
I think that person, I'm not relating him to Tiger, but I know when he wins and he does well, people buzz about golf. Well, people who watch is Jordan Spieth. When he won last week, people were hyped. They were like, he's back. He could go again a lot. Yeah. And he didn't have a good weekend.
No, he finished third.
Yeah, did he? Oh,
yeah,
my bad. I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm thinking of Rory for some reason.
Rory,
our 3 like top picks. I think me, you, Ben, and Fort took Mickelson. Those guys didn't even make the cut. I took Spieth as my second pick. I'll claim that. Just because he did win that previous week. I was one of those people who were like, he's definitely next week.
Brooks didn't have it.
No, understandably.
Phil made the cut. I had Bubba. He made the cut.
Mm-hmm.
But that was
I was surprised by that pick last week, Ray. I heard that you're all about Bubba. It's like,
I like Bubba. I don't know if you guys follow him on social media, but he has the most personality out of any golfer. I would pay I would pay a lot of money if I had to golf with one person other than like Tiger. Actually, I wouldn't want to golf with Tiger. I just wouldn't speak the whole time. Well, Bubba seems so cool and fun, and he enjoys the game. He makes watching him and talking about it. So that's why I fuck with Bubba. And he's a lefty. He's just awkward. Everything he does, he's not afraid to take chances on the course. That's why I love him.
Well, I was one thing when I was watching it, I kept thinking of, what do you think you guys would have shot on that course?
132.
102.
Oh, shut up.
I bet I could break 100, I think. I could break 100 on it.
Only because the conditions are perfect. So, like, at the end of the day, if you just keep it simple, don't try to.
I don't even use my driver, so I keep it simple already.
That's what I mean. If you could just keep it on the fairway and just go, obviously that's better, easier said than done. But everything is pristine. Almost could be worse, but I feel like some of these conditions out here that I play on these golf courses are just treacherous. They're horrible.
Yeah, some of those fairways look. I mean, you look at them, you're like, how,
bro,
is a human gonna hit it there?
Like
it looks. It's amazing what it looks like.
And then you see some of them hit shots, and you're like, what is going on?
You see them tee off on hole 18, just that little narrow channel that they have. It like I'm sitting on the couch doing nothing with a beer, and my butt puckers up a little bit as they get ready to hit. Like, oh my god! But then that yellow line, you know, the shot tracer line goes right down, right where it should, and you're like, all right, that's why this guy's gonna win $1 million. That makes sense.
Butt pucker. I'm using that tomorrow.
Butt pucker. Yeah.
I like that.
No, to answer your question though, Ray, I think it's big for Japanese golf, which I don't know if you guys, if you're watching as closely as I would, and I love Nick Faldo, so anything that he says, you know, I just listen to it. He knows everything about golf. Yeah. And he was talking about how he used to play on the Japanese tour back in the 80s, and how people in Japan they love all sports in general, but golf they just go nuts for. And so Hideki over there is like Tiger Woods here. Like awesome. he just it is, you know, the pinnacle. And so see him win, I thought that was cool. Actually, the week before they had the women's amateur at the Masters, which was the first time that a 72-hole tournament was a female tournament was played at the Masters, and a Japanese girl won that too. So 2 Japanese winners, you know, 2 weeks in a row. I thought that was really cool. And like you said, the timing of our culture, I think it's awesome. It's a storyline that, because Tiger's not there, that storyline actually gets heard.
Yes.
So I think it's cool.
Agreed.
The Japanese thing though is legit, because I worked at Banker, it's in Ames.
Yep.
And when I was in college there, and like the Japanese culture of Ames, golfing, they would be out there from morning to night, like legit, just nonstop. They'd play the course and they would stop, take a break, and then they would go back around. Mm-hmm. They just play from morning to night.
Yeah. No, I think that was a dope scene when his caddy kind of took a bow. Yes. That's to the course. That was a great scene. And I did hear that after they asked him who he looked up to, kind of sports wise, and he didn't name any golfers. He named, I think it was Ohtani. Just Ohtani is all that's coming. Was it Matsui? I don't know. Yeah, I know Ohtani was definitely one of them, but he did. Yu Darvish. I can't remember the third one, but he did name actually baseball players. Or his biggest.
I seen him at the airport with the Supreme duffel. You guys see that?
I saw that.
Right? I was like, okay.
He drapes the Masters jacket over an airport chair. I'm like, first off, hygiene, man. Those airport chairs are gross.
Yeah.
I think it was that same bag. I swear.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'll send you the picture.
No, he looked good, and that's impressive. But yeah, he's just carrying that jacket around like it's just another carry-on. I'm like, come on, man, that's got a little respect for that jacket.
Yeah. Forgot to go to our golf expert for it, obviously.
Yeah,
do you have anything to add on
golf? I mean, I was locked in all weekend. I thought it was one of the best Masters I've ever seen.
Ooh.
You know,
because it was the only.
I'm excited for next year. I think he's going to go back to back.
Bold take. I like that.
Keep that. Put that in the archives, please.
Yeah, it's like TNT on basketball when Charles Barkley, somebody makes a prediction, Ernie got the post-it.
Yeah, it's going to be on freezing cold takes.
What else? I mean, we got so many random. I mean, we're already 50 minutes in, and Nate, we appreciate you riding. I guess you'll ride with us to the end of the episode, unless
if you want me to. I can leave if you want.
Hey, no, I like it. You're a solid neutral. You're a plug-in.
All I request is I need a cameo from the kids by the end.
I can't promise that. Maybe Mac. I'll get Big Mac in here.
Okay.
Let's talk about the topic I was going to talk right before Nate got on, the DMX death. Obviously, last week we recorded late, so we were able to talk about it when he was in bad condition, and turned out the next day he passed. That was kind of cool. I got to see people on social media, a lot more people. I always knew he was big, and I always loved him for his music and what he kind of movies, Cradle to the Grave, all that stuff back in the day. But I didn't know that many different people that I seen on social media pouring out and supporting. I thought that was really cool. That it sucks that you could, we give roses or give flowers to people after they pass, and we don't show them that love when they're still here. But what did you guys do to kind of celebrate the life? That
it was just crazy how many different stories you heard from so many, like you were saying, so many different people, like him dancing at an Albanian wedding, or him cooking and I forget, the IHOP or something in Buffalo. Like, like regular celebrities ain't doing that shit. It just showed you how down to earth and humble he really was. Because I mean, he experienced everything in his life that someone could possibly experience, like as low as he was, and then to get to what he was, so that just goes to show he was just a human being. It was crazy.
That that 2000 early 2000s culture. I listened to some of those albums that I used to listen to growing up, and it kind of took me back. It took you back to a younger age. And
isn't it a weird take you back though? Because I mean, you probably
it's not really that long.
Yeah. Well, like Ben's probably an NSYNC fan, so like if he goes back and listens to those albums, like
No Strings Attached is
my
favorite albums of all time.
He gets all sentimental about an old girlfriend, but like you listen to like Up in Here, that was like my junior year of football in high school. That's what you listened to right before you went out on the field, and it's like the way it takes you back is just like you think about locker room and you think about a certain play in sports.
Yep.
And,
music and smells are usually those two things that instantly you go into that, where you were.
For sure.
I will say, I think I was in kindergarten or first grade, and Joey Fatone was supposed to come to my school and talk to us, sign autographs or whatever. And I didn't go to school that day, and I was pissed off that I didn't get to meet Joey Fatone.
Yo, I think were you in New York at the time?
Yes.
Yo, I used to have the most random. I feel like he came to our school too in Staten Island. That's so funny. I swear.
I'm sure he did right across.
He just did a public school world tour, like
New York world tour.
Is he from that area?
Yeah, he's from Staten Island or Jersey or something like that. Yeah, so it makes sense, but it was just like our schools weren't near each other. I mean, in the metropolitan area, but that's funny.
I never went to an NSYNC concert, but I did go to a Christina Aguilera concert. All parking lot.
I'll go one of those. I'll go to that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a Destiny's Child concert.
My first concert ever was Spice Girls. No shame, zero shame.
I was front row. Beyonce looked right at me before Jay-Z.
Before Jay-Z.
Noted.
Yeah,
Before
right.
Jay-Z.
I swear to God.
You had
She looked right at me.
Ray, how old are you?
I'm 31.
31. Where did you see Spice Girls at when you were growing up?
I probably was, I want to say 7, 8, maybe 6. It was Jones Beach in New Jersey. It was just, I was friends at the time with somebody that had a younger sister. So it was more like, all right, they're going. Do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, at the time, whatever. But I fucked with it before, during, and after.
Yeah.
I didn't even know when Spice Girls stopped. I didn't know when they stopped. Like when did they not become a thing?
I think they're still a thing.
Yeah,
they have more. They have more relevance, kind of right now with Porsche. Right? Is that David Beckham's Posh?
Posh.
That Porsche. Posh, but they're still relevant doing music things. But man, they were like international, bro. When you want to talk about like pop culture. In the late 90s, early 2000s, they were, 90s, they were huge. They had a movie. That movie did well. Yeah. All right, now I'm fanning out. So,
hey, tell me what you want. What you really want.
I like Baby. That was my favorite one. But anyway,
I was like 2 in the 90s.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's see. Any topic off the top of your head? Because I got a few, but I want to see kind of what you guys want to talk about.
Just let me know when I can vent.
Yeah. I'll circle back quick. You guys were talking about NBA players who are just unreal good. And right before, as I was waiting for Nick to let me in, on ESPN, they just showed a pregame shot from Luka. You guys probably haven't seen it yet, so this is breaking news. He kicks it, volleys it a couple times with his feet, bounces off his shoulder, does a step back from
behind,
where they go into the locker room, and it's probably a 50-foot shot. I'm guessing, I don't know, up over the top, drains it, and then just kind of waddles back into the locker room
at a 45-degree angle. Yeah, it was
unreal.
It looks fake almost, like the ball was put in photoshopped. He's unreal of an athlete.
But so he never played on a slanted hoop. That's why.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna ask, have you guys ever won a game of horse off of some crazy shot like that?
Probably in the pool.
You won the game and just like that, I shouldn't have won that. That was just ridiculous.
Probably just won a game of horse off a 3-pointer.
I can't remember an exact moment, but I for sure have.
They usually go hook shot. Hook shot from a weird angle you usually might go to.
I always took advantage of being left-handed and would just call it out lefty, before.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure if Fort passes me the ball, I can make anything. So I'll have to try that out.
That's a pocket pass, man.
I beat some friends in high school. At my parents' house, there's a cement slab in the backyard, level cement slab that we had a hoop. And the hoop's not there anymore now that I think about it. But I just nonchalantly threw it up. There's this tree right off the corner that sits between my parents' deck and the slab. And I just threw it up into the tree and I said, it's going in. And it rattled around in the branches and went in. And that was probably the last time I ever played horse. I was senior year of high school. And I was like, I'm ending on that. I'm done. Shout out Tyler Vaughn for losing that game to me. Thanks.
Yeah, you always got to end on a make.
Yeah,
you can't leave.
Absolutely.
Always got to end on a make.
Yep.
That's just
sooner or later, Nate will lose to me one-on-one. Sooner or later, it's gonna happen.
I'm not scared. I'm 3 inches taller.
Doesn't matter.
Five times stronger. I'm just not worried about it.
I'm crafty.
Crafty.
Let's jump into quick bet the Fort picks. He had a little bit of a rough one, I believe. I have.
Brother, this guy stinks.
Yeah. First losing week.
I love when you're just texting the group randomly, damn, they're down 4. I need them to come through.
What the fuck is going on?
Now it's funny because I have fantasy teams, but now I'll just throw that game on and just see if you win or lose. It's so funny.
I forgot what night it was, but I do remember waking up in the morning and seeing fuck gravy and the Bucks, and I just got on with my day. I didn't even say anything to him.
Give us your picks for this week, and I'll post it on Instagram.
We got quite a few picks this week. UFC this weekend, and a lot of baseball's in full action, basketball. So since we're doing a series with baseball, we got the Giants and the Reds. That series starts tonight, in the next few hours. So that'll go on through Wednesday. I'm taking the Giants over the Reds. The Reds fucked me losing to the Diamondbacks. So fuck the Reds.
They almost got no hit, by the way. They only got
shout
2
out
hits.
Swarzy.
Yeah. And then I'm taking the Phillies over the Mets because it's fuck the Mets.
I'm not doing it. Don't even look at me.
FTM. Yeah, let's not go into that.
I'm just gonna continue to ignore him. Don't even look at me.
For basketball, tomorrow we got Portland and Boston. Taking Portland, even though Boston came back from 18 last night against the Nuggets. I think
that was wild.
Yeah, they used all their energy on that, and
Nice.
Portland lost to the Heat, so they want to come back and get a dub. Taking Brooklyn over the Sixers on Wednesday, and then I got the Mavs over the Knicks on Friday.
Cool. And you got a UFC pick?
Yeah, I got UFC, the main event. I'm taking Whitaker over Gastelum.
And that's the main event, right?
Yeah, it shouldn't be. He's the favorite, but with UFC, you never know.
If Gastelum can finally make weight for a fight.
For real.
Is this their first fight together? Did they fight previously? I feel like those two teams stick out, and I remember watching maybe them. Or I definitely watched
fight once.
You can't tell because this guy never makes weight. So I don't know.
Well, we'll see. It's if he doesn't make weight, then we won't count that. Maybe he'll save his.
It's a push.
Or we'll save his money.
Let's see.
All right. What did you want to vent about? Gravy. Sorry.
The Mets.
I do have to rant about the Mets.
You got a few minutes. Go ahead. We'll give you the floor.
I just want people to start respecting RJ Barrett. Okay?
Okay, RJ Barrett.
Rowan Alexander Barrett Jr. Respect the guy. All right?
And that's because who was not respecting him previously?
ESPN, my friends, the Twitter app,
my friends, Twitter,
and Anthony Edwards.
Oh yeah,
he plays for like a 10-30
shade.
Minnesota Timberwolves team. Okay.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, A-Rod bought. We didn't talk about that, but
we
will
will
get to that after.
That was going to be my next. Yep. Yes, sir.
Just respect the dude, man. He's hooping in crunch time. He shot 0 for 8. He had a game against the Raptors New Year's Eve, 0 for 8 from 3. I think at that time he was shooting 18% from 3. He's now shooting over 40. Well, he's shooting over 40% from 3 since then. Dude's been hitting knockdown shot in clutch time for us past 2-3 games, and he's 20 years old. I think people forget that. He's 20. Has he struggled? Yes. Has he been Ja Morant and can't remember who went before Ja? No. Zion. No. Oh yeah, that was the draft. The Knicks were going to get everybody.
Yeah. And in free agency.
He's not them, but that's fine. He doesn't need to be them. Dude plays his heart out. I think he's top 5 or 6 in minutes per game, or was at some point this season. Just give him some time. Okay?
Yeah, personally, the book isn't written on him by any stretch of the imagination in general. It's just one of those takes that, you're in the New York market. You're going to it almost feels like the media has been nice on the actual players of the Knicks lately, just on the organization. They've been hard. So it's like one of those things where like sometimes a bad article about him has to be written or some shade just because he's in New York. But
I'm sick of the clowns on social media. All right. If anyone has a problem, play me one-on-one. Okay.
Throw your address out there.
And shut the hell up. There's veterans in the game who believe in him. His teammates believe in him. His coaches believe in him. Steve Nash believes in him.
This is Godfather.
Yeah.
As a Duke fan, watching him when he was at Duke, that was him at Duke too. He, was RJ Barrett lighting it up, great. And then he would have those nights or those even weeks sometimes when he would struggle mightily.
Yeah.
But that's just because he was 18 years old at the time.
Yeah.
He's a kid,
I watched a lot of Duke games that year, and I agree with that.
He's 20. Give him some time.
Who's the point guard on that roster?
Trey Jones?
One of the twins.
Yeah, I would say
Trey
one of
Jones.
the Jones.
One of them. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be tough for him being, going third, I guess, in that draft class, going to New York in that market. Like, there's so much mental stuff, that you gotta like get accustomed to and whatnot. So
he's had 2 coaches already.
Yeah,
during
exactly.
COVID. He's had 3 coaches.
I feel like he's finally getting comfortable in the system, and I mean, being a young player, it's tough to adapt to the NBA game, and I mean,
it's fast.
Like you said, the book's not written, and I think he's going to be a great player.
Yeah,
on the years on out.
I agree. Nice. Let's see.
Do we want to talk about anything? Let's talk about A-Rod, and then I'll talk briefly about the Mets.
All right, cool. A-Rod came out. What was that? Saturday or Sunday? Yesterday. A-Rod and his team. Obviously, there's to buy any franchise nowadays is billions of dollars. A-Rod doesn't have the, and nowadays you have to. I mean, you have to have it like liquid or some shit. Like you got to have money to buy a full team, majority owner. So obviously, A-Rod partnered up. He'll probably put in what 50, 100 million into it, but that's obviously relative, still a lot. Yeah, and he bought the team, which is great because the Timberwolves have been a franchise for before, during, and after the Kevin Garnett era. That was the last time they were really relevant and consistent, and they've had multiple coaches, multiple all-stars there individually, and never kind of panned out. So hopefully we get to see a young movement with the A-Rod kind of group. And
I mean, they've been playing well since D'Lo got back.
Like, yeah, he's a force, man.
They're one of the higher rated offenses since he got back. Him and Cat are a pretty good duo.
Yeah. It lets you know A-Rod was looking to buy a team. Like he struck out with the Mets, no pun intended, or a pun. And then he bought, the Timberwolves within a year. So he was looking to spend some money and be a face. He's about that bag, man. He made a lot of money in his career, and he's trying to build that reputation back, not only as a business person, but as a human being.
Yeah, I feel like most like franchises or sports teams that you buy is a pretty solid investment. I mean, right now how everything is, I feel like that's a good move, and he got the links too. That's part of the deal, like we were talking about. So
So I'll play devil's advocate as the new guy. Name a franchise where a well-known person came in and bought the team, and because of that person, that team then became successful.
Immediately, I thought the Clippers, but I know what you mean. A well-known person, not like a billionaire, but a face. That's kind of what I alluded to. It just
to say that A-Rod's going to come in and hey, he bought the team, and maybe who knows? I mean, there are players, that
Jeter's going to try to do it.
Exactly.
Can you define success for me? Like your version of success in that position?
Popular. So a popular person, well-known, comes in, and it's just like the A-Rod story, comes in and says, okay, this person's buying the team. And maybe other players could say, hey, I want to come play on A-Rod's team. That could be possible. There's probably NBA players out there that are like, I'll come, like a Jay-Z in Brooklyn.
I'd say Jay-Z. That's why I asked.
Yep. I have had a feeling that's where you're going.
Yeah.
But
they didn't win a title, but they were in the playoffs, and being there at that time was awesome. And like just seeing Brooklyn, because I lived in Brooklyn when that all went on, was awesome. And I think maybe they changed what the Nets were at that point, because obviously the Nets were successful, but their later years in New Jersey weren't that good. So I think in
that's
that
a very
instance,
unique situation too.
Yeah.
The Nets could go 0 for 82.
I would say maybe Magic with the Dodgers.
Yeah. That was a good culture change.
Yeah.
But I think to what Gravy was contesting about what success would be labeled as, I think if you haven't had consistency at the coaching level, the GM level, the fan base, popularity, and then obviously wins, I think if he could do some of those, that's already better than the last regime. So I think that's how you would rate this group. Over the next 5 years, do they re-sign Cat long-term? Do they have a young foundation? Is that coach that's there now still there 5 years from now? I think those are the little things from an ownership standpoint you could look at and be like, we've had success in 5 years because we've had the same people with us. Same thing with Sean Marks and Brooklyn Nets. They had 3 to 4 years of consistency. Obviously, we got rid of Kenny, but there was 3 to 4 years there that we haven't had the same coach for 1.5 years prior to the last 10. So stuff like that, when you're building, man, it's really tough to build a franchise nowadays with all the pressure and the short leashes that you have on managers and coaches. But
free D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, I would say success would be relevancy. If they could be relevant again.
Yep.
That is, especially in a small market like Minnesota, if you could be relevant again, that would be a good measure of success.
Yeah.
They're talking about you on SportsCenter on a nightly basis or a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Not as a joke either.
True. not top 10.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any other news out there? I had written down that Clowney might go to the Browns, change it up to NFL real quick.
Yeah.
Well, that would be huge for the Browns. Obviously, you have the 1-2 punch on that line. That would be dangerous.
Luca Garza won John R. Wooden Award.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Big.
Yeah.
Was that just now, or you had it down in your notes?
No, I had it down in my notes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Let's see. Watson, obviously, the lawyers to just update that. This will be like a every week thing because, it's kind of relevant. His lawyer wants the names to come out. So we will see some real details, I think. I think we'll have our questions answered in the next couple of weeks when those names come out and people have to put names and faces to what they claim or say. So we're going to know right away if he's guilty or not when those names and those people come forward. Any quick thoughts on those? On that?
You guys follow Barstool Sports, I'm sure, on IG.
Oh yeah.
1 Minute Man. Have you seen his rant about Sean Watson and the 22 girls?
Yeah.
If you haven't, take a minute. Oh my gosh. I was sitting in the bathroom, taking care of business, watching that, just laughing. And my wife's like, "What are you laughing about in there?"
Do you want to know something weird? This is very odd. The last time I watched 1 Minute Man video, I was taking a shit too.
That's the only time I watched it. Why not?
We just connected, man.
It's a special bond.
I was like, last time I watched a video was.
I think you both should let 1 Minute Man know that you had a special bond.
I'll let him know.
By the way, my always gripe is they're never 1 minute. They're longer than that. So I call you 1 Minute Man. But hey.
Let's see. Oh, I wanted to bring this up because it's bullshit. Yesterday, that Braves Phillies game.
Yeah.
MLB,
Oh
everybody that doesn't watch baseball, but they can relate to this on any sport they watch is we've put VAR and replays into sports to get the call right. And we are still 8 years into baseball, I think, because it was limited at first. Now we're like about almost a decade into baseball replays, and they're still blowing calls that call meant something to the game. It wasn't in the second inning.
Yep.
That's bullshit.
I know. And what is bullshit about it is like they have replay for that situation right there. So it doesn't happen.
Yes.
And then I watched it over and over. I'm like, he didn't touch the base. Like,
no.
What are you doing? How do you make that call? Man.
Yeah, it's bad. I was watching MLB Network today, and Mark DeRosa was like, when does common sense come into play here?
Yeah.
Like, you can't review this because it's this, and you can't review that because it's that. Even in the Mets series against the Marlins, granted, not sticking up for him, Michael Conforto is just not the type of player to do something like that.
Yeah.
And whether it was the PR people who gave him this answer to give or not, he just said, hey, the guy wasn't pitching a good inning. He threw a slider high and inside, and that's just how I reacted. Obviously you don't want to win a game like that, but that's just how I reacted. On slow-mo, I think a big problem is you show the fans these replays and you slow it down. These umpires aren't seeing it like that. Now, yes, when they go to a review, they're seeing it like that. But in real time, he can't tell that it looks like Conforto leaned in and took it. It 100% does.
Yeah.
But I think then, he can review if it hit him, but you can't review if it was a strike or not. So what are we doing here? I get it. Game 3 of 162 for us, but that game is going to matter later in the season. And it is. Just the NL East is probably the best division in baseball. Sorry, not being biased.
Was that the play at home plate?
That we're talking about with the Braves and Phillies?
Yeah, on the sack fly.
Yeah, that was 9th inning.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was bang, bang.
He completely missed the plate. He did not touch the plate at all.
Yeah, watch it for it. It's crazy. They have two different angles, and one is a little rough. You could be like, all right, maybe his heel hit it. And then there's one when you watch the first one and then watch when you can't see anymore. You clearly see it hovers right over the plate. And that's
they got to fix that. 100%. They got to do two things. They got to take away that K-zone shit that they put on the TV during the games.
Yeah.
That does ruin
take that away because it's not accurate.
And average people watch it that don't.
Yeah, and that's not how baseball is anyway.
Yep, I agree.
So just take it out, and they have to clean up their reviewing stuff. I can't review this because this is you either review everything or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's safe to say that baseball is always 10 to 20 years behind every decision they make. Universal DH should be a thing. This 7 innings in a doubleheader, I understood last year with COVID because they didn't know how the season was going to go. Try to maximize the amount of days you have. But to have a doubleheader 7 innings doesn't count as a real game in my eyes. You can't, historically. And then you have the runner on second in the 10th inning.
Yeah, that's dumb.
That's the dumbest shit ever.
I don't like it. At least do it in the 12th or the 13th inning. Don't do it in the 10th. Let it be a couple innings before we speed it up and it ends.
Everything is controlled by them. And I don't think I can get in trouble for this, nor do I care. I knew when I was working at Citi Field that we had a doubleheader against the Marlins. And I think either the first or the second game, one of the games was on Fox. They told the Mets that they couldn't start Daisuke Matsuzaka in the televised game because he pitches too slow.
That's crazy.
What?
That ridiculous. Yeah, because he pitches too slow. So
they probably advise them to consider possibly thinking about this.
Which brings me to why did the Mets play last night?
That's another conversation. Yep.
Stroman threw 9 pitches.
He was mad on Twitter.
And then the game was over and postponed. And he's like, now I have to wait 5 more days to pitch. Granted, he's not. He threw a bullpen today, said he was good, and we have a doubleheader tomorrow, so 2 7-inning games, and he'll just throw one of them. Yeah. But it's like, why put players in that position, in that circumstance, and have them get injured, or have a guy throw 9 pitches and be done?
Yeah, baseball's got to figure it out. Yeah. They suck. Manfred.
You know who else sucks? Michael Conforto. He fucking sucks. Get him out of the 3-hole, which we did. Dom Smith, put him in, and get DeGrom some damn runs.
Yeah.
Sick of it.
Man.
I get more run support from him.
He does everything on his own.
He leads the team in hits during his own starts.
Dude, DeGrom's last start, I put the Mets in my parlay, and I knew, I'm like, DeGrom's pitching, and I knew, I'm like, don't do it. They're not going to get him any runs in my head. I still did it. And then, like, as we're going on, I'm like, they're not going to score any freaking runs. So I just cashed out because I'm like, the Mets, again, is so frustrating. There is not a human that's got to be more frustrated on this planet than Jacob DeGrom.
Fort, don't say that.
That was against the Marlins, and I was like, that game is going to have like 4 runs combined, and it was like 3-0. I was like, it's dumb.
Listen, do you know, Ben? You know what Mets stand for?
What?
Nate, you know what the Mets stand for?
Don't.
My entire team sucks.
Yeah, I forgot that was a thing back in the day in New York. That's funny. I haven't heard that in years.
And Fort, I mean, Ray probably knows. Ben knows a little bit, but this is just Fort pissing each other off. Him and I pissing each other off all day. Endy Chavez is not the most relevant thing that the Mets have had. Okay, we went to the World Series in 2015.
And lost.
I don't care. We were there. We beat the Cubs and we beat the Dodgers.
No one remembers that.
They remember Matt Harvey blowing it in the World Series.
I don't remember that. I remember Chavez robbing whoever it was with a homer. That catch was crazy.
So
that was crazy.
In DeGrom's 78 starts in his last 4 seasons.
Here we go.
The Mets are 36 and 42 in those games.
His teammates hate him more than allegedly Kyrie's teammates hate him.
In his victories, he has 25 victories with a 1.11 ERA.
That's stupid.
He's lost 20 games with a 3.80 ERA, and he has 33 no decisions with a 1.76 ERA.
Wow.
Under 2 ERA, and you have that many no. That's.
And the guy gave us a discount. We didn't have to give him 360 like
discount
Garrett Cole with no Cy Youngs, but hey,
pick up DeGrom.
Y'all better win in the next couple of years because that boy's.
Hey, but guess what? He went to a World Series.
He did. That was early in his career, right?
No hardware.
Yeah.
No hardware.
No hardware.
He's got 3 Cy Youngs.
Well, yeah. No, he's a beast, and he's the best pitcher.
No,
there's no debate
denying that.
So quick shout outs before we end. My shout out, and we'll go around quick. My shout out is to WrestleMania weekend. I had fun enjoying it. Shout out Bad Bunny. Did his motherfucking thing. I don't know if you guys, you don't have to watch all of it. You don't have to watch the whole match. Just YouTube or go and watch what this man did. He looked like a dog. He looked like a lucha Mexican, like he's been doing this for years, bro. It was crazy. And he only trained for 3 months. Shout out him.
I watched the video. He did good. You could tell he put everything into this. It
was the best celebrity non-athlete performance I've ever seen in a wrestling ring. I was shocked. Like Dennis Rodman back in the day, they just had him do some like clotheslines or whatever. This guy was jumping off top ropes.
Yeah, I've seen that shit.
Like they looked really good. He really sold it.
Serious career in the WWE. You know?
Well, do you think he was yelling Bad Bunny ad-libs as he was flying in the air?
Probably.
Was he like jumping off the top rope, Bad Bunny, baby, like, and then just like 5-star frog splashing people?
That was amazing. Yeah. So that's any shout outs on you guys? You guys then? Birthdays.
Apex softball game 1 Monday.
Woo! Just got a new.
We'll need some
today.
footage. Hopefully, you guys make sure you whoever's
I'm live broadcasting our games on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. So yeah, do that. Send me good pictures and videos of anything that goes on, so I could have some good material for the gram. Anything else, Nate? We appreciate.
Nate, did you get a Mandy story yet?
I
We
didn't
need some
have a Mandy
financial
story.
advice. We need something.
I did. Yeah. Just I wasn't going to plug the business. Yeah. Financial advisor. If you need financial security, give me a call. My shout out. I'll save you lots of money. Don't worry about it. My shout out was going to be to my favorite NBA center of all time, Shaquille O'Neal, rolling into a jewelry store to get some earrings.
I had that written down
He
too.
buys a man's engagement ring for him.
Nice.
Awesome.
Like, he's already top 10 greatest players of all time. Everybody loves him. He's on TNT. He's a huge personality. Lives in a 76,000 square foot house. Like, has all the money in the world, and he walks into a small jewelry store and buys an engagement ring for a guy.
Where the hell was he in January?
Dude, yeah, no kidding, right? So, a hell of a guy. Arguably more popular off the court than he was on the court.
I agree.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's awesome.
Good point.
He's a true legend, one of a kind person. He's a huge investor in businesses. I think he owns. I don't know.
He's on the board of Papa
He's everywhere,
John's,
bro.
Yeah,
He owns 4% of Google.
Yeah, he's got a
I
lot.
didn't know that.
I did not know that.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's a huge
Ellen-
investor.
Yep, Ellen DeGeneres did an interview with him last summer. I don't watch a lot of Ellen. I just chat. I think I was
Hey, no shame, brother. No shame.
no shame. I think I was googling.
I just talked about Spice Girls and the NSYNC for about 5 minutes, so
That's
you can't
true.
get any.
I think I was YouTubing Shaq highlights or something like this, and this video popped up, and he was talking about. That's how I knew he had 76,000 square foot house too. But
Yeah,
he was talking about bad investment decisions, and he could have got into Starbucks.
Oh, I did hear this.
The CEO of Starbucks came up to him and was like, "Hey, I really think you should do it." He's like, "Man, black people don't drink coffee. I'm not." And then it blows up. Well, then he was like watching somebody's kids, or he was at the same hotel as this meeting going down. He's watching these people's kids. This big investor walks out and says, "Shaq, you have a big name. Everybody loves you. There's this new thing coming out called Google. I think you should invest in it." He throws in some money. He didn't say how much, but now he's like a 4% owner of Google, which is pretty much like half of his net worth.
Yeah,
Is just his Google investments. Crazy.
he also owns 155 Five Guys restaurants,
Jeez.
40 24-hour fitness franchises, 17 Auntie Annie's pretzels,
Ooh.
What?
and
That's legacy
150
money.
car washes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
legacy money. He's leaving money for hundreds of years of his family line. That's awesome.
But you know his rule for his kids: you got to get 2 degrees if you want any of my cheese.
I like that.
They got to get their They got to get their undergrad and a master's.
You can tell he's a
Money.
tough dad when it comes to standards. As an athlete and in general, he does set a high bar, and I can imagine for his kids, they'll all mostly be successful because of that. That's
I
awesome.
believe he grew up in like a military family.
Yep, he did. Yep, in Newark, New Jersey too.
Nice.
Cool. So yeah, Nate, we appreciate you jumping on, and congratulations for winning our annual and inaugural NCAA Challenge bracket. That is episode 11. Episode 12 next Tuesday. Boys got softball. Watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to us so you know when the episode drops. Apple Podcasts, leave us 1 star, 2 stars, 5 stars, preferably.
Whatever it is.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.
Ellen
Everyone follow
DeGeneres.
Twitter. Everyone follow Vito on Twitter and block him.
Block Vito.